Alright, hello everyone, it's Diamond, and today we're going to be covering another what if scenario. This time, it's a sequel to the Walking Dead scenario. This one is called What If Lee Had Survived Part 2. I'm going to be including SuperSavage789 for this video. I will be leaving links in the description to his channel, as well as throwing in my second channel and Twitch. So let's do a quick recap as to what happened before. Lee survives due to being more cautious and aware of his surroundings. The group rushes towards the boat, with Kenny telling Ben to get on the last seat. The 400 days arc remains the same. The group gets attacked and splits up, leaving only Clem, Ben, and Lee as the only ones. Luke and Pete discover them and begin asking questions. Lee explains to them as to what had happened and says that he doesn't know a man named Carver. They bring them in for more questioning, and this is where part 1 ends. So, Luke's group will begin to distrust Lee, since they don't believe his story holds up. Lee begins to tell them why they look tired and wet. He tells them how a group of bandits attacked them and how they fell into the river, which caused them to get separated by their two friends. He explains that Ovid and Krista have a child, and that they need to meet up with them again. Pete and Luke are not 100% sure if they can trust him. It's a 50-50 thing, but the others are not convinced. They begin to search the area just in case Carver's group is around, as well as checking if Lee, Ben, and Clem have any weapons on them.
Feeling paranoid about the situation, Luke's group wants to leave the cabin now, but Pete suggests them waiting one more day before leaving, just to see if Carver and his people are going to show up. He's doing this to see if Lee's story holds up. They take Lee's group into the shed until morning. They make a plan to have watching shifts in case they need to try and escape. Lee decides to stay inside, to keep their situation from getting much worse. With the three of them being discovered by Luke's group, Luke and the others may be on high alert than in canon.
Fast forward to the morning. They decide that they need to keep on moving. So, instead of going out to collect fish, and having the choice to follow Nick or Pete, they decide it's best to reach the mountains, which means that Pete won't die due to getting scratched or getting bit in the leg by a walker. Pete and Luke says to Lee that Lee's friends may have found a way to the mountains, and that if their story holds up, they'll be able to trust them a little more. Luke says that they seem like good people, but they can't take any chances due to Carver hunting them down. They tell Lee, Clem, and Ben to walk forward in case they try anything. You also have to understand where Luke and his group is coming from. They ended up escaping from Carver's community because of how things were going. On top of that, Carver wants them back, to bring them into forced labor so their community can grow. So seeing someone randomly show up in front of them is probably making them a little paranoid.
While traveling, they come across Matthew on the bridge. Luke and Pete will ask Lee if he knows who that is, to which Lee responds by saying no. Pete tells Luke to come to the bridge with him, just to see if Matthew can be trusted. They decide to bring Lee with him, just to make sure he's not lying about not knowing who he is. When approaching Matthew, he will ask them if they are cool people, to which Luke and Pete will say yes. Pete will ask Matthew if he knows who Lee is by any chance, to which he would say that he doesn't know him personally, telling them about a friend further up ahead of the lodge who spoke of a man named Lee. Lee chimes in and begins to ask if Matthew knows the man that mentioned his name. Matthew says it was a friend of his named Kenny who mentioned him. Lee is taken back and shocked after hearing Kenny's name. Lee tells Luke and Pete they used to have a friend named Kenny. They had believed he didn't make it. He says that there's a chance they could all reunite again. Nick begins to notice that they haven't come back and drawn his weapon at Matthew. Pete tells him to cut out and that there's nothing to worry about. Nick is unsure of the situation as he continues to stare at Matthew and puts his weapon down anyway. Matthew says that he doesn't have much, but he can offer them some food if they're hungry. He also tells Lee that there's probably a chance Kenny was referring to him and not someone else.
Lee tells Clem and Ben the news that Kenny may be alive and that they need to head out to the lodge. With the group putting their trust in Matthew, they follow him back to the lodge where they can all meet. When arriving, they see Kenny's group. Kenny is at a loss for words after seeing the three. Lee, Clem, and Ben's reaction is the exact same. Not only did they see Kenny, but also Krista and Omid with their child as well. And that's where I'm going to leave it off for now. Alright, so that was pretty much the end of it. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like, comment down below what you think you want to see next, subscribe to stay active on the channel for when anything might come up in the future. I'm thinking of probably adding a gaming video on here, even though I did make a second channel for specifically gaming, but I might just toss it in here just to see what happens. But without wasting any more time, I'm Diamond Legend, we'll see you next time.